In this section, I'll be talking about ways to simulate surface relief. The simplest way to do this is with a bump map. A bump map is an illusion that alters the shading of a surface. It's not something you can see in a viewport. Bump maps are calculated at render time, and they're very efficient because they're just changing the shading of the surface. Be aware that bump maps do not alter the underlying geometry like displacement maps do. I'd say most materials use a bump map to give the sense of added depth. Let's create a bump mapped material. I've created a box primitive and assigned a standard material to it. I'll start by mapping the diffuse color with a bitmap. Go to the Maps folder and I'll turn on thumbnails to get a sense of what we have here. Notice these two images. They're meant to go together. This is the bump map and this is the diffuse map. The diffuse map is in color and the bump map is in grayscale. I'll select this diffuse map in color and show it in the viewport. It looks fine. I'll zoom in and turn on active shade so we can view the rendering. Now I'll go up to the parent and open the maps rollout. Here's the bump component. Click the None button and assign a bitmap. Select the grayscale version of this texture. Notice that the file name even says bump in there. I can show this in the viewport, and you'll see that it matches up perfectly with the diffuse color map. If we show the result of both of them in the viewport, we don't really see the depth. We have to rely on active shade to show us that. And I would say that the bricks appear more dimensional now. The bricks seem to be bumping out of the wall a bit, and the grout seems to be receding. You can accentuate that by increasing the bump amount. I'll set it at 100%. And we see much more texture now. This is too much because the bricks look too granular. I'll set it back to 50%, which is about right. So remember that the bump component works with a grayscale image. This is too large to see on the screen, but areas that are dark are not bumped. They remain on the surface. Areas that are white are bumped up or pushed forward to create this illusion. You can also use a negative value here if you want to do the opposite. That is, push the grout outward and pull the bricks inward. And this looks a little funny here on the brick wall. You can also invert the bitmap in the output rollout to accomplish the same type of thing.